we're going to start broadcasting for YouTube, and we are ready here.
Mm-hmm.
So nice convo. Okay, and it happens now that we are live. Okay, great. We're live both on YouTube and on Zoom. Hey there, whoever
Hi.
is watching us. We're really happy to have you here. David and I, we are here today to guide you through what happens at a hackathon. It's a little bit of a chat between me and Damon, so please feel free to send in your questions through our YouTube or our chat down here. This is actually not a full webinar, keynote presentation, or whatever. It's just something to get you guys know better about what we do, what to expect from this experience that we're going to have now on the 5th October. So with this, what is a hackathon, Damon?
Yeah. Well, first, thanks for having me on. And so a hackathon is just an event where different technologists come together to really build a solution over the weekend. And it's been going on for a few decades in the tech industry. And then 7 years ago, the idea was, how do you apply this to the built environment profession? So following that same line, it's bringing people from technology together with different professionals from the built environment. And then, yeah, having an event over the course of the weekend where they make hardware and or software to solve their problems.
So going down to the professionals, right? If I am a technologist,
Hmm.
should I know a lot about the AEC industry, or am I allowed as a regular person, a regular technologist with no AEC background to join you guys?
Yeah, great question. So I think it's really just for a technologist. It's you don't need to understand what AEC even stands for. So it really is just about everyone that's either a developer or a designer that works with technology in some element, right? Because it is applicable to everyone that works or lives in a house or building. So you don't have to have a background in any of these industries to participate from the technology side.
And from the construction side, should I be this massive programmer and know all about, I don't know, coding and whatsoever, or can I be a newbie and try to
Yeah.
join and learn some skills here and there?
Yeah. You definitely don't have to be an expert. While that is helpful, the more that you can, speak tech, the better. But you don't have to be. I mean, we have a lot of people who kind of are at that self-identified level of I can sometimes find the power button. So, and that's the great thing is that it is about bringing together folks from all different areas of expertise and familiarity with technology, right? Because yes, you'll have someone that can make a great solution that can understand coding or Python or Revit APIs, in addition to just what they do day in and day out. But then again, it's also for that individual that says, hey, I have a great idea for an app. I know how to use my phone. That's about it. But here's my idea for my app. So it's of all different skill levels and technology.
So if I have this great idea
Mhm.
and I maybe want to find some other people that will be excited about this, it would be a great idea to join, right?
It would. And in addition to that, I mean, it also is a great opportunity to, ask around, right? I think tech right now is so prevalent that, we always have friends who somehow are maybe involved in technology. And so in one way, it's best if you're coming with an idea, do try to actually, see, can I form a team of maybe friends or colleagues? And if not, of course, the hackathon is there for you to actually find people to join a team if you just have an idea and come with that. So it's whatever the person can line up. The more, like anything, the more planning and preparation, the better. But it's not necessary.
So if I already have some people that I know here and there,
Mhm.
and like we're now in September, right? So it gives a little time for some preparation and planning. Um, can I be already talking to these people when maybe starting a little development here and there to join the hackathon with already something started?
Well, you can definitely join the hackathon. I mean, that's a great approach. The thing there, just to make sure that we keep it fair for everyone, is just when a team does decide to start working on something pre the event, right? Say you have an idea, and then you just start working on it with now. That would just be shared with the judges. Is that we do the honor policy of did you start this at the hackathon? Is this something you're bringing from beforehand? And then given a lot of our technical judges that we have, we know what was built over a period of 2 weeks and then what's kind of a pre-project beforehand. Now, with that said, of course, if you want to start planning out what does your application look like, right? Identifying what are the problems I want to address, what are the different skill sets that my team members have, proposed team members will need, then that is totally possible. You can go ahead and start planning everything, wireframes, have it all set up, and then when the hackathon starts, then execute on building from that point forward, and then you just kind of start when everyone else started. So again, the more preparation, the better.
So my ideation phase can go through this first weeks prior to the event, because sometimes what happens is that people go on the ideation phase for like a week during the hackathon, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly. And it's interesting how that falls into place, right? And I think that's what people need to be flexible about, because sometimes in the hackathons we have folks who come and they say, look, I've had this idea and I've had this idea for years, and now I'm looking for someone to like build it, or I've put together a team of people to build it, and that's what I plan to build when I come. Or sometimes, and usually what happens a little bit more, is someone will come with an idea of what they want, but then, and these to me are kind of the best ideas, as they share their idea with others, the others' inputs of either their skill sets, interests, just comments, will modify that, right? And then so, or sometimes be completely different, right? Person may come in and say, my idea is A, but given the skill sets of everyone else, you know, we came up with B instead is what we're going to do. Or I wanted to do A, and here's how these other people came in and we modified A to be something actually bigger, right? So so it's just kind of, again, good stuff.
so my question is, if I'm a company, right? Sometimes I do have some ideas, and I do want to develop some stuff, or I work at a company and I'm part of some innovation initiative inside this company, and I want to bring in some tech or some new development. And can I join the hackathon with this kind of approach, trying to find people there to help me on that? Should I join as a sponsor? How should I approach this event, and what kind of exactly interaction should I expect, right?
Yeah, great question. So if you are coming from a company innovation team, which we do have at times, I think there are a few things that one needs to make sure you kind of sign off from. Is if you're coming with an actual company project, right? So at your company, you're talking about machine learning or something like this, and how can you apply that to construction management or something, right? You do need to make sure that whatever is the project you want to work on, what is the IP of that project, right? Because this is something that becomes an issue, well, can become an issue if not addressed up front. Is you're bringing in a piece of technology, you're having other people work on that piece of technology and moving it forward, and so the discussions around intellectual property, of course, are very important, right? And just to define that up front. So that's definitely a key thing that you want to do if you're bringing projects from your job, is just how much of that can you share, and then the IP going forward. A lot of times when we have teams that are bringing things from innovation labs, they open source it, right? Or they're doing something that isn't the secret sauce of the company. It's more of something that's just again, that can be shared and built upon. So that's definitely an approach that seems to work well. You know, high tide raises all ships. So that's definitely something to consider. Is, you know, is it okay for you to bring this out, you know, and share it and work on it? And then also, you know, the intellectual property. But the great thing I find is that it gives companies a chance to sometimes even just bring their teams together, right? To work on something that may be of interest. You know, not a lot of times, but we have seen in the past where, you know, company will have all the different tech people in their architecture firm or, you know, construction company or whatnot that will come, and they already have a project of what they want to build, right? And for them, it's just more of time to be able to come together and work on this. And yeah, you know, if they entered into the hackathon, awesome. But if not, they have that solution. And that's what's great about the event, is that given that we are very much focused on, you know, solutions that are Monday through Friday, everyone's a winner, right? If you're coming and you're solving your own problem. And so from an innovation lab, that's kind of the way that we've seen these companies come and participate in the past. A great example of this are friends from our Finnish community that are from a company called Sweco, and they come and participate. They're from the innovation department of that company, and they usually make some pretty great solutions. So
Awesome. And if I want to sponsor that because I don't have an innovation team, but I also want my problem solved, is there some kind of way that I can expect the hackathon to solve my dreams or my wishes as a company, like a sponsorship program or a development program? Is there something like this?
well, definitely. I mean, you know, with the different sponsorship packages that we offer, there is an opportunity for sponsors to propose a challenge. But I think for full transparency, as you know, it doesn't mean that people want to solve your challenge. You know, and so you can come and say, this is what we would like to see. But then it's also about how much does the sponsor engage with the community, right? And we are not necessarily a bounty hunter type site where someone can say, hey, I want this done, here's my sponsorship dollars, and now I just sit back and wait for people to build this for me. It's very much an engagement. You come, you say, hey, this is what I would like to have solved, and then, like with anything, you have to engage with the teams to make sure that they are aware of your challenge, right? Because again, a lot of people are coming in from industry and they know what they want to solve, right? They're kind of blinders on, and I know what I want to do, and then sometimes they're not looking. And so from that perspective, yes, companies can definitely come and propose challenges. And what I would submit is that they and make their challenges about raising the industry up, right? One gets much better traction when we have a challenge to build a solution that will help everyone versus we have a challenge that will build up and help our company. And so.
And as a technologist, right? Because
Mhm.
we were talking a lot about the companies and the participants and thinking that they already are willing to engage. But let's say I'm a technologist that is not sure if this is the right path to go through because I already have plenty of hackathons available and I have a lot of industries that are way more appealing. I don't know, video games or something like that. Why the AEC industry um, can be attractive or not, I don't know, for a
Yeah.
technologist, you as a technologist, why the AC industry is so special that got its own hackathon.
Yeah, well, I I think it definitely goes back to, you know, it's an industry that relates to everyone, right? Most people live or work in a house or building, as I said earlier. And so in that, it's something that one can have a direct impact. As a technologist, you may, you know, you may work at Uber and never use Uber, right? Or rideshare. And so I think that one, it's the fact that it is directly relevant. It is improving, you know, just a key function. We could switch the internet off in every app and everything else, but we're always going to need shelter, right? We're always going to need these basics for humanity just going forward. And so one, that makes it a very, job security for sure, right? It's not an industry that's going to go away. The other side of that is there's a lot of opportunity in it right now. I mean, globally, it's a multi-trillion, that's with the T, a dollar industry. And so there's a lot of areas of opportunity, especially as a developer. So I think that it's relevant to people, usually in technology as well. It's an emerging area, right? It's something that one can jump into, and there isn't going to be an expert, right? Yet there are people that have been working with things longer than others, and there are some experts. But with the way that technology is improving and just exponentially getting better, the way that the industry now is starting to adopt it, it's very different to say I've been a web developer building solutions for the construction industry for the past 20 years than it is just saying I'm a web developer that's been building websites for 20 years. So I see it as a great area for opportunity. And then also it gives developers a chance to play with the way that we as humans and a human computer interface can interact with our physical space, right? Because it's even though it's architecture, engineering, construction hackathon, we also focus on the facility side of it, right? That's a part of the built environment, and that is the length. Really, I mean, the construction design process is very small compared to how long is the operations. And so to be able to develop applications and systems from a technology standpoint that really expand upon how we can develop applications that interact with our physical space as more of these spaces come online and things like that. From a designer creative side, it changes the user experience, and that's pretty exciting. That's pretty exciting from just to get your creative juices flowing, kind of.
And as a participant, what can I expect from this experience? Because I mean, of course, we know the general terms of a hackathon, that it's like this crazy programming marathon focused on some goals that there is on the website. But how is this experience? So once I subscribe, right? So I went there on the website, I made my subscription, and then I have the dates that is from the 5th to the 25th. On the first day, the very first day, is it already the hackathon, or is this some kind of pre-event stuff? Should I just start hacking, or is there some kind of event that we talk and like start coding, or a Slack channel? How is this dynamic? So we can have the anxiety, worked out.
Sure. Well, the first thing to do is definitely go to the hackaec.com website and see what are the best ways of getting involved in the community. And that will talk about, of course, joining the Slack channel, registering for the event, and that's a really good place to start. Is then you can go and see, okay, how did they kind of deal with the past hackathon in July? There's also in the Slack some information from past events in the physical spaces. So definitely jumping in there would be a great first step. And then to your point, the first week, so the 5th through the 8th, so that Monday through Thursday, are different workshops that are made available, and we can definitely share and have access to the workshops that we had last time. So if someone wants to go up and just learn, right, those are open to everyone, even if you're a ticket holder or not. So yeah. So with that said, that's the first thing is to participate in the workshops the Monday through Thursday, and then in the Slack, introduce yourself. Go in there and say, this is who I am. Maybe a link to your LinkedIn profile or something like that, and then start to engage people that you're looking for a team, or you have an idea. We have channels in the Slack for that. So in this digital age, due to the pandemic, we really rely heavily on again, people not being passive, getting involved. But the one thing that everyone can expect coming into the hackathon is you're going to learn something, right? And you're going to get out of it what you put into it. And so with that, you know, that's kind of the key thing there. And it's fun for all generations. So that's the other part.
That was going to be my next question, right? Are you baby friendly?
Actually, we are baby friendly. Since the very first hackathon, we actually did have little ones that were there. So it is fun for the whole family. Now, usually the little ones don't last very long because their attention spans are, you know, kind of short.
Yeah.
So they mainly just come for the team presentation day to see what mom or dad have been working on all weekend and why they weren't hanging out with them. But we do have some, you know, great things there. And then just at other events, you know, we have hosted hackathons for kids of all ages, right? So even though we are very much about professionals and a bulk of the folks that we have that come are professionals, we have run little smaller hackathons within our hackathon that either, like in New York City, we had one that helped promote young ladies that were in between the ages of essentially 9 and 13 in different STEM and STEAM programs, right? That came and they had their own hack challenges. Our community in Shanghai does a great job of inviting essentially middle school age kids to come and participate and kind of build solutions with things there, like, you know, Unity or different 3D modeling programs. So while not a norm, we definitely are fun for, you know, kids of all ages, right?
Yeah, even on the last online version, we had a hack that involved kids, right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah. One of the challenges, Hack My Treehouse, was about how do you get kids engaged in construction? Because that is a big issue. You know, our next wave of
So
construction professionals.
considering it all, we are the whole thing, from what I understood, is getting engaged with the community and actually giving more than taking, right?
Hmm.
So, with that said, I want to ask one last question, and if any one of you here with us today have further news, please leave here on the Q&A session. But I'm so sorry. But my final question is regarding what hacks are some examples that we had on past editions.
Yeah. So some of the hacks that we've had from past editions were everything from uh, just finding things like lost tools on a job site to concrete estimation, doing insurance, like wind simulations to see how wind will beat up a building for insurance purposes. I mean, it really runs a spectrum of different solutions. So with that, I'd say really just if one goes to our AEC Hackathon YouTube channel, looks at the team presentations, again, you can see just kind of the variety of very specific tools, right? That people and solutions are looking to build, and then sometimes those that are just a little bit more generic, right? Data flows and exchanges. How do you convert from this format to that format, or how do you get from this type of web-based environment feeding back into Revit, and, you know, things like that. So it really just runs the spectrum. I wish I could say, you know, oh, we have a high concentration of this type of solution or something else, but we really don't.
So if I just had another idea of getting kids engaged in the construction, or I don't know, solving a more generic problem, that's not a problem, right? I can just go there, try to find my team, or find my team and go to the hackathon and engage with the community and show my hack, right? So
Well, you can. You know, I think the thing is the you know, our guidelines are, you know, solve a Monday through Friday problem that can be implemented on Monday. And I think when you give something that defined of a scope, it takes kind of like, well, this is what we could do. So like, for example, the hack that did involve getting children engaged in construction, you know, they got kids engaged in construction during the hack, right? And what was interesting is that the solution that they built, Hack My Treehouse, for those out there that are interested in looking this up, was actually about solving a different problem, but did it in a way that was kid friendly because it was about tree houses. But if you look at what they were really doing, is they were using computer vision, laser scanning, a whole bunch of these technologies that, if just skinned for a different purpose, could apply directly to, you know, different things in the industry. So it is about having fun and being able to come and kind of solve these problems that we need to address that are more long term. But it is also very much about, you know, solving problems that, you know, for tomorrow.
And how much time should I devote to the hackathon? Because it's like 3 weeks long if you go in the calendar and check it out, like from the 5th to the 25th. Let's say I have a baby, you just saw that. And how much time should I devote? Or is it up to me and my coordination with the team? Or
exactly.
Is there a minimum amount of hours? What's the minimum expectation? I don't know.
Sure. Well, I think, like with anything, it's you know, you said it best on your second point. It's figure out what's your availability and then share that and communicate that with your team, right? Because we have some people who, over the course of the, really it's 2 weeks, because the first week is just these workshops. But once the hackathon actually starts on the 9th, I believe it is, that Friday, and then runs till the 25th, you know, some people just say, hey, look, you know, I have 2 hours a week to give to this. And other people say, you know, I have 5 hours a day, right, to give to this. And so it really is just about communicating with your team. You know, good rule of thumb always, right? Under promise, over deliver. But it is, it's just up to the availability. I mean, usually, again, when we do these in the physical location, it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You know, it's 48 hours of intense going. And with that, we kind of think that we'll get that plus. So, you know, at least try to give 48 hours somewhere in the 2 weeks of good, dedicated, focused time to your team. Now, but if not, just be transparent with that. Yeah.
Awesome. Finally, I just wanted to point out something that you said about the workshop. So the workshops, they are not mandatory. You can either engage with them or not, right?
Correct.
And they are something as a pre-event, you said?
Yes.
So the actual hackathon, it not start on the first day, which is the 5th. It starts on the following week, on the
it starts on that Friday, which is the 9th.
Okay, so it starts on the Friday, which is the 9th, and on the 9th there will be this online session saying, hey guys, we are having the second online version of the AEC hackathon. Please come forth with the lightning rounds, right?
Correct. And again, all information that can be found via the schedule on the hackaec.com website. And that is where, you know, teams or individuals can propose their ideas or, you know, what their skill sets are. And again, what we have found, though, is that more of this for our online event happens in Slack. And that doesn't have to wait until Friday, right? So someone could be watching this now, go into the Slack and start looking for a team, meeting people and things like that. But you are correct. On Friday, the 9th, at around the noonish to 2 p.m. Eastern, I have to look at the website, but somewhere around in that time is when we'll have our Hackathon Kickoff. And this is where folks can come in. We'll hear a little bit about the sponsored challenges that we have. And then also we'll hear from people just very quickly, you know, about 20, 30 seconds on what's their idea and what they're looking to accomplish over the course of 2 weeks.
So summarizing, check out the website, hackaec.com. All the infos are there, pretty organized. Join Slack, right? Because from everything that was talked today, basically it's all about community. So just join Slack, please, and be a part of this amazing community. Share with people that you think should be in this amazing community. And just go to the hackathon actually to have fun, right? The hackathon is actually the very point, but it's not the whole thing, right? The whole thing is about community engagement, and the hackathon is just a point down on where it all the magic happens, but you have a whole context to it, right?
Mhm.
Nice, 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 nice. So I think we covered everything and all the questions. So thank you, Damon, for sharing your time and answering all those questions that I think it's something that we usually get, right? Another
Thank you for doing
quick
this.
yeah, another request that I would like to make. I saw here that we have Shiamba from Angola, and he joined us on the last hackathon online version. And if you're someone that joined us on our previous events, just make a video sharing this experience, right? So we can have more people knowing exactly how is this experience and how this amazing works and how amazing this community actually is, right? So with that, I think I can say bye. And Damon,
Thank
any
you.
last words?
Well, just definitely. I mean, thank you to you for doing this, and then of course to everyone out there, right? Because the industry, will continue to innovate, but it'll definitely take people, like those in our community that are just driven by passion to do it. So I think those that, even if they come to the event or don't, push innovation in the industry. So and we definitely would love to see you join one of the events and do it with us as well.
Are the are the I don't know how to say that. Sorry, blank on my mind. Are the registrations open already? Can I buy my ticket?
Registration is open. Go to hackaec.com for that. You can find a way to register. It's a great price. It's just $25. We'll get you access for the 2 weeks. And
If I cannot, join and hack, can I just donate like for this amazing initiative that the AEC Hackathon brings in, that it's the biggest, I think it's the biggest, right? Open innovation initiative for the AEC community.
that is true. And so you can. And this time we're doing something a little bit different. We have two different ticket types. So we have one for those that are coming to hack, and then we have the ones that for those that are just coming to learn. And because that's another thing is sometimes we have folks who don't join a team or maybe don't feel comfortable joining a team, but they have access to people that are more than happy to help them up their own tech game, right? Maybe they came, watch some of the workshops and want to learn more about Revit or learn more about Python or something. And they say, you know what, I don't feel comfortable participating in a team, but I'd love to just continue learning. And so that's definitely a different type of ticket that we have. In addition to, yes, we just have a donate button, which came a lot of requests, which was pleasant from people in the community. So that's so we do have that available for those that want to donate as well. Because again, it's all community driven. So that's really great.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Damon. And I hope we covered all of your questions. Next week, we're going to have another webinar with Steve Hoser. Steve is going to talk about open innovation and hackathons and how is this dynamic. And we will be answering more of your questions on the next session. So that's it. And bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.